I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at the hostages being held by Hamas.
Landmark lawsuit. I'm Angela Brown in Washington, D.C. How a $1 billion verdict could impact home buyers and sellers nationwide.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage tonight as leaders at the Nashville International Airport are talking to Fox 17 News about their traffic problems. We have been giving voice to passengers and rideshare drivers and their complaints about the long lines for months now.
Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live from Nashville International with the airport solution.
Yes, well, there will be 85 designated short-term parking spots, and the first 30 minutes in this parking lot will be free. Now, BNA spokesperson Stacy Nickens says that there are additional short-term spots in Garage 2 as well. BNA spokesperson Stacy Nickens says the number of passengers has doubled over the last few years, which is why they've needed to expand. And so BNA added a new cell phone lot with more parking spots, but the problem was it's more than 3 miles from the airport, so not as many people were going there. So Nickens says this is why they added additional parking near the airport lobby.
So what we're hoping is that people will utilize the short-term parking option as they wait on their loved ones instead of circling the lot, kind of leading to a lot of the traffic congestion that we're seeing.
So Nickens believes that this will really help with the traffic. Now, this short-term parking lot right behind me will be open as of tomorrow. And again, the first 30 minutes inside this lot are for free. Reporting live from BNA, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage tonight surrounding the legal battle over the Covenant shooters' writings. The Court of Appeals ruled Covenant parents, the church, and the school can all share their voices in the legal battle from now on. This after a group appealed the trial judge's decision. The group is taking Metro Police to court in order to make those writings public.
Tonight, the biggest names in NASCAR racing are continuing to celebrate Championship Week downtown, albeit with the rain along Broadway for the annual NASCAR Awards. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen has been on the NASCAR beat for us this week. She's live downtown at Music City Center, where they were definitely celebrating tonight.
Oh yes, Scott and Megan, it's been a fun week here in Nashville, and the award show wrapped up a few hours ago, but there are still drivers, family, friends all around here still celebrating. And I had the chance to speak with a lot of these NASCAR drivers who tell me there is no better way to end a season than to end it right here in Music City. Now, NASCAR is celebrating the end of its 75th season. This is the 4th year NASCAR decided to come to Music City. The celebration wrapped up here at Music City Center for the award show, where the 3 NASCAR Series champions were honored. That includes the Cup Series champion for this year, Ryan Blaney. Now, I also had the chance to catch up with legendary NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt Jr., who tells me he loves any time he gets to come here.
Nashville's got a great connection to NASCAR, to racing, to motorsport, so it feels very comfortable and natural to have our championship celebration here.
Now, of course, the next big race will be the Daytona 500 in February, and you can catch it right here on Fox 17. But for now, reporting live from Music City Center, I'm Amanda Chen, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And in your sports news tonight, it's day 1 of the Blue Cross Bowl as high school football teams across Tennessee compete for that coveted state championship trophy. Of the 18 teams playing for the titles this weekend, 9 of them are from right here in Middle Tennessee, including the CPA Lions. The Lions are back in the Division II AA state title game for the 6th straight year, and today faced the Boyd Buchanan Buccaneers at Finley Stadium in Chattanooga. The Lions came out roaring thanks to CPA running back and North Carolina commit Cruz Law, who opened up the scoring with a 73-yard touchdown run. The Lions took control of the game after that, finishing with over 300 yards of total offense and 2 touchdowns. CPA winning this one 35-13 over Boyd, marking the program's 3rd title in 6 years.
It's just a great feeling. It's kind of bittersweet just knowing it's the last one of my guys. But it's a good feeling to knowing that all the work we put in, and I mean, it worked out, so it's great.
That was only the first of 3 Division II state title games today.
Well, the other local teams facing off in the Division II Single A title game today: Friendship Christian Commanders and the Middle Tennessee Christian Cougars. Here's what we know. Middle Tennessee Christian jumped out to a quick 7-0 lead thanks to a 24-yard touchdown pass to receiver Brooks Jones. There he is, taking care of business. Cougars continue to take off after that. 300 yards of total offense. They scored a touchdown in every single quarter of the game. Middle Tennessee Christian would go on to win over Friendship Christian 28-13. It marks the Cougars' first ever state title on their first trip to the Blue Cross Bowl. Congratulations to all. Good weather down there.
Good weather today, not so much as we head into tomorrow and into Saturday, especially in Chattanooga, I'm afraid. And we'll talk more about how that same system will impact us here locally. Rain for Friday, and this is going to be round 1. We'll see another chance for showers coming in on Saturday. That'll be the one that clips us and affects more Chattanooga. Rain for the weekend, that's what I was talking about for Saturday, and a cool snap on the way as we head into next week. First batch of showers, though, already pushing through West Tennessee, a couple moderate pockets as well, and we're going to be looking at rain to continue to fill in through the overnight hours here. Glorious, glorious rain. Nice to see on the radar. It's, again, something we haven't seen a lot of. Temperatures for tonight around 45 in Nashville, low 40s out towards the plateau, McMinnville at 43, as well as Tullahoma, Murfreesboro around 44, Clarksville sitting at about 43 degrees. Now, despite the fact that we'll have rain around in the morning, we will look at temperatures in those 40s, climb to the low 50s by 9. A lot of the rain clears by mid to late morning, and temperatures will jump back into those low 60s for the afternoon. We'll walk you through the timing for the rain and talk more about the potential for showers going into Saturday. That coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at the hostages being held by Hamas.
Continuing coverage tonight as families of hostages being held by Hamas terrorists shared their heartbreaking stories. Fox 17 News' Janae Bowens explains tonight from Capitol Hill.
Unimaginable that we find comfort in the fact that he was taken hostage and not murdered.
Orna and Ronan Nutra say their lives have completely been turned upside down since their 22-year-old son, Omer, was abducted by Hamas.
Omer has been held hostage 54 days today. 54 days since the last sign of life. Can you imagine?
Omer is an American-Israeli soldier, along with 19-year-old Itai Hen, who is also being held hostage.
We live in a different universe than you do. We celebrated Thanksgiving with an empty chair in our table. We want to be whole again with our families.
Itai's father, Ruby Hen, is urging Congress and the international community to get the dozens of hostages not yet released home as soon as possible.
Time is running out.
The Nutras and the Hens were just 2 of the several families who testified during a House Foreign Affairs Committee roundtable Wednesday. The stories of the unpredictable plight of these hostages sparked an often rare sight on Capitol Hill: bipartisanship.
And I will say I'm proud of this administration for standing with Israel. I will not rest. I know the ranking member will not rest, and members on this committee will not rest until we bring every American back home.
The horrors of Hamas, not just a focus here in the House, but in the Senate, too.
These families have already endured the worst traumas imaginable, and yet now they have still been ripped apart with no idea when they will see their fathers and brothers and sons again.
The families are demanding proof of life, medical conditions updates, and the ability for Red Cross workers to visit the hostages.
Hopefully we could be whole again.
In the meantime, they hold on to the hope that they will see their loved ones again. On Capitol Hill, I'm Janae Bowens.
Continuing coverage now, some members of Congress say it's difficult to get funding to the places they consider a priority. House of Representatives right now pushing a hefty Israeli aid package, but some Democrats in the House say there should be other aid included in this bill.
Right now, what is being played politics is with the potential supplemental funding to help Israel, help our efforts in Ukraine at the border, and also our challenges in the South China Sea.
We have passed a bill for $14.3 billion, if my memory suits exactly. And we've counterbalanced it with taking money out of other areas that they want to spend money. And that's what you have to do, is we're trying to balance our spending.
The Republican-controlled House is likely to reject extra conditions on that aid for Israel.
Well, trying to find out what's gone wrong at the U.S.-Mexico border, how congressional Republicans are taking aim at the current White House and its immigration policies.
And coming up, more on the rain moving in overnight tonight, plus more that could be on the way this weekend.
Wall Street economists were right on inflation. Besides October core PCE meeting estimates, so too did consumer spending, both up 0.2%. And personal income also rose 0.2%. Initial jobless claims also nearly in line at 218,000. UAW members are campaigning in hopes to double their union membership. They're asking workers to join them as they organize at more than a dozen non-union facilities. The group tweeted in part, quote, "From Toyota to Tesla, from California to South Carolina, America's auto workers are ready to stand up and win their fair share of the auto industry's record profits." According to their website, the campaign will cover nearly 150,000 auto workers across at least 13 automakers. Right now, UAW has a little less than 150,000 members. Meanwhile, Ford revising its annual earnings forecast after reporting the auto worker strike costed $1.7 billion in lost profit. It now expects adjusted earnings before interest and taxes of $10 billion to $10.5 billion, down from its previous guidance of $11 to $12 billion. That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
Well, earlier in our newscast, we told you about our X poll up and running right now, asking the question, should pride flags be displayed in your child's classroom? Just over 3,000 votes have come in. 77.9% of respondents say no. 22.1% say yes. Each night, look for a brand new poll on our X page that you can participate in. Thanks so much for weighing in.
Continuing coverage now on the crisis at our southern border as House Republicans take aim at President Biden's border policies in foreign affairs and the committee hearing.
Well, they scheduled the hearing to review current and past immigration policies, including the Trump-era Remain in Mexico policy. It requires asylum seekers to remain south of the border until the U.S. court date.
Well, witnesses called by Republicans accuse the current White House of weakening our border security.
It was a patchwork of policy programs and regulations that helped secure that border. And as each one was taken down, starting with MPP, but others were taken down as well, we started seeing the unraveling of the border.
Last year, a Trump-appointed judge kept the Biden administration from ending the program. Mexico signals it will reject any efforts to reinstate it. President Biden's now calling on Congress to pass new legislation to address this problem. So far, multiple bipartisan attempts at a deal have failed.
Continuing coverage tonight as former President Trump's gag order is back in place in his New York civil trial. An appeals court reinstated the order after it was put on hold for 2 weeks. The judge ordered the gag in early October after the former president attacked the judge's law clerk on social media. Mr. Trump's lawyer sued, calling the order an abuse of power. Meanwhile, the civil trial continues, with Trump expected to testify again December 11th.
A new survey shows many Americans continue to say that there are only two genders, male and female. But some feel sharing that view has become increasingly controversial as the transgender lobby has grown. And as it turns out, there's some unexpected interests bankrolling it.
People who think that this is a grassroots movement that is giving rise to the transgender culture in the United States, this transgender moment that people say that we're having, do not understand that this is more of a top-down dynamic that is at play, where you have really just a handful of organizations and LGBT advocacy organizations that are driving the agenda. but because they have such sway and such money, they're influencing everything from schools to politicians to corporate America.
This week on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, a look at the pharmaceutical companies and other interests who are contributing to this. Looking ahead to the weekend and a lot of sports beginning on Saturday here on Fox 17. At 11:30, men's college basketball featuring Marquette versus Wisconsin. Then at 2 in the afternoon, college football, the Mountain West Championship as Boise State takes on UNLV. And in the nightcap at 7, the Big Ten Championship game between Michigan and Iowa.
Then on Sunday, it's an NFL doubleheader on Fox 17. The Detroit Lions take on the New Orleans Saints. That game's at noon, followed by San Francisco at Philadelphia at 3.
Showers are moving in now, and we'll continue to see rain overspread Middle Tennessee and southern Kentucky as we head through the overnight. Really nice to see on the radar, and nice to see that everyone's getting a drink of water as we head through the overnight hours here. We really, again, could use it with the latest drought monitor coming out today. It's a slight improvement, so that's good news. And I think this rain will help a little bit. It won't completely get rid of the drought, but we're headed in the right direction. Unfortunately, there just isn't any rain to back up this rain as we head into early next week. It's looking fairly dry, so we'll make maybe some small improvements, but it won't really put a big dent in our drought that we continue to see. Friday here, we're looking at temperatures around 55 at 10 o'clock. We'll look for the bulk of the rain to be clear by 10, and we're left with mostly cloudy skies and maybe a few light showers as we head through the afternoon. We're going to keep skies cloudy through the day, but despite the clouds and the rain showers, temperatures will climb to the low 60s. We have a south wind to thank for that, a breezy one at that. As we head through the overnight, showers continue to spill in, and notice as we head towards 5, 6 a.m., we've got those pockets of rain that are around as we head into the later part of the afternoon, 12, 1, 2 o'clock. Mostly cloudy skies at this point with a few pop-ups possible for us. As we head into Friday night then, another batch of rain developing. This is going to be from a second system as a frontal boundary kind of hangs out right on the edge of our viewing area. Where that boundary sets up is going to become a big deal as to who gets the rain and who doesn't. Right now, models are hinting at it being really on the edge of the viewing area, which keeps most of the rain just outside of Middle Tennessee. Heavy rainfall, I might add, possible for folks in southern portions of Tennessee, close to really the Alabama border. So the very extreme southern end of our viewing area into Alabama could find some of these heavy pockets of rain. That trend continues here as we head through Saturday morning. You can see more of these showers starting to spread more towards Cookeville, Crossville, McMinnville, and Tullahoma. That lightens up as we head into the afternoon. This is just before lunchtime, and then as we head into the later part of the day, we continue to find spot showers around along and east of I-65 for Saturday, and then a few more showers moving through overnight Saturday into Sunday. I will note that severe weather is not a problem this weekend. We're not expecting that, but the chance for some pockets of rain will be around for Saturday and Sunday. Now I think our rain chances have slightly increased a little bit. So between now and Sunday morning here, we're looking at the bulk of rain to come through tonight. Another batch possible for Saturday early morning. Most of that looks to be just outside the viewing area. About 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch looks likely for a lot of us. Some areas will likely see more, and that'll be south and east towards the Alabama border.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
The northern lights will likely be visible in many northern states tonight thanks to recent solar flares that should produce some geomagnetic storms. It was a different kind of light show last night as the sun set over Alabama, and the Atlantic hurricane season comes to a close today. There were 20 total storms, 7 of which were hurricanes, and 3 of those were major hurricanes.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
And you can see more weather stories like this every weekday morning on the National Weather Desk. It starts at 8 a.m. on our sister station, MyTV 30.
Landmark lawsuit. I'm Angela Brown in Washington, D.C. How a $1 billion verdict could impact home buyers and sellers nationwide.
Covering the economy, buying a home still the biggest financial decision that most of us in this country will ever make.
But as Fox 17 News' Angela Brown shows us, a recent court ruling could change the way homes are bought and sold.
This was a class action lawsuit brought by over 500,000 home sellers, mainly in Missouri, but also other Midwestern states. The payout huge, roughly $1.8 billion. A federal jury in Missouri found the National Association of Realtors and other real estate companies conspired to artificially inflate commissions paid to real estate agents. Michael Ketchmark, lead attorney representing 500,000 homeowners in this class action.
The money will be returned to the homeowners that were the victims of this rigged system.
The NAR requires homeowners to pay the commission for the buyer's agent, which sellers argued led to excessive fees. Real estate CEO Bess Friedman defends it on CNBC.
We work together. It's cooperation. You get the best price when everybody works together.
Caught in the middle. Local real estate agents like Michelle Salone, who is a broker and owner of Remax Time in the Cincinnati area.
I think it will force a lot of real estate agents out of the business.
The ruling could also lead to lower commissions, forcing some to walk away, especially women. The NAR says 62% of all realtors are women, median age 60.
A lot of women also are working part-time because of a flexible schedule. And so with that said, if it's more difficult to represent a buyer or a seller, it's definitely going to affect the livelihood of a lot of real estate agents.
An NAR spokesperson says the trade group plans to appeal and seek reduced damages. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
There is new research today on cocaine use disorder, how it could make a difference in stopping this use inside the brain. I'm Liz Bonus. We explain just ahead.
New research on fighting addictions.
Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus shares how it's targeting a certain area of the brain to treat substance abuse.
Hey everybody, this research really disrupts the traditional theory of what's happening in the brain when a person develops cocaine use disorder.
He's now nearly 7 years sober, but if you ask Aaron Lane what led to years of addiction to several drugs, including cocaine, he'll tell you.
I think the catalyst was, the stress of life and not having healthy coping skills in order to not use them.
Dr. Andrew Norman of Ohio's UC College of Medicine says that may have been true for Aaron, but his theory about how people get hooked to cocaine is a little different than how most researchers see it. They see it as the drug reinforces the pleasure centers in the brain.
It may be pleasurable, it may induce positive effects, but that isn't the reason why animals or people will take it.
Instead, in Dr. Norman's lab, experiments show it's because of the effect of the drug itself.
And so it doesn't matter whether you want to take cocaine, it will drive the behavior, just like all drugs do. There is no choice in pharmacology.
Dr. Norman says much like sleeping pills, if you take them, you will fall asleep, whether you want to or not. He published this theory in this recent scientific reports.
The drug is exerting the effect. And that is a fundamental departure from the standard way of looking at it, where it's a choice whether you take the drug or not.
To interrupt that process, Norman's team has developed a treatment. He hopes soon to test it in human trials. It would target and reduce concentrations of the drug at the site of action in the brain. That then would hopefully lead to reduced use and long-term addiction recovery.
Now, this likely does have implications for other drugs as well. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus.
Liz, thank you. All right, we've got a little rain on the street, so it's going to be a wet ride home for folks who are out. But how about the morning?
Tomorrow morning, early in the morning, we'll have a decent chance of rain around as we head into the afternoon. It'll start to lighten up a little bit, but we'll keep the clouds around and maybe a few showers heading into Friday evening. Saturday and Sunday staying mild. We're going to keep the clouds around and we're going to keep some shower chances in the forecast as well, but it'll be a little more isolated in nature. Won't be as widespread as what we're going to see overnight.
All right, stay safe out there. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.